Hi, Emily.
Hi, Kristen. It's so nice to see you. Your
You
beautiful
too.
smiling face. Hi.
Oh, thank you. You too, Emily. I'm so excited to see you. It's been so long.
I know. I know. I'm waiting until more things happen in my life until I book a session with you. Honestly, I've been
Totally.
thinking
No, I
about it.
totally get it. I get it. No, not at all. I'm just happy to see you. Hello, everybody. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Corey.
Hi.
Nice to meet everybody. Just going to give everyone a couple of minutes to get settled in. We had around 120 people register, so we'll just give everybody a few minutes to join us. Hello.
Hello.
How
Hi.
are you? It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. Carolyn, you look really familiar to me. Have we met?
So it's Carlin, but that's
Carlin,
okay.
oh, sorry.
Everyone does that. There's no way. We haven't met, but I engaged with you like early on in your when you were building your Instagram once upon a time,
Okay.
but we haven't actually met yet. But I'm
Got it.
thrilled to be here. Great to meet you. I
Great to
love all of your
meet
stuff.
you. Oh, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. I appreciate that.
yeah.
So cool to meet you. I feel just like such a familiarity to you. It's so funny.
Well, maybe in a past life.
You never know, right? I'm
Never
sure.
know.
Soul family meets soul family. Hi,
Where do you
Emma.
live now?
I'm in LA.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever smiles first wins. I like that.
This
Cute.
is this is my brand, part of my brand.
Very cool. I love it.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
thanks.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to give everyone 2 more minutes and we'll get started right at 6:05. I have lots for us to go over, and then I pulled a lot of the questions that you guys submitted in the Calendly form so we can dive into some of those. And then if we have time, can certainly do some live Q&A too to make sure everybody gets what they need. Jody, I like your thumbnail here with the relationship alchemy. I love that thumbnail.
Can you guys hear the snoring in the background on mine?
No, do you have a dog there?
Oh my
Oh.
God, she is so loud right now. It's insane. I didn't know if anyone could. He's actually a lab mix, and I'm dog sitting for a friend right now. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, soaking up the fall
Oh,
weather. But
nice.
I did not know she came as such a snorer. So it's kind of
Yeah, she looks kind of like a pity, but I know when I had my pit, he snored like a grown man. It was
yeah.
crazy.
Maybe she has some pit in
She's
her.
cute. She's a cutie. All right, it's 6:05, so we're going to jump in, and if people join us, we will just let them in. But so excited to have you all here and to dive into social media, to dive into visibility and just your form of self-expression and whatever that means to you. I know there will be people here with the intent to start a business, people here with the intent to expand, and others who just have a message or something on your heart that you want to share. So I've designed this presentation to really cover all the bases. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and we shall dive in. Okay, let's see. Okay, social media mastery. Let's do it. So, one of my favorite things to talk about is social media, especially when it comes to visibility, because it's such a powerful channel for us to reach those that we're here to reach, but it's also like the most intimidating channel to put yourself out on. Whether it comes to growing your business or expressing your message, for some reason, when you just go to talk to that camera and it's up there, it just gets and feels very awkward. And I know when I first started on sharing on social media, I went through a very long journey. My first video was less than 2 minutes. It took me 5.5 hours to make it. I was crying and frustrated and just like, halfway through the video and like, Kristen, what are you even talking about? This doesn't make sense. So my hope is that through this presentation today, we are able to tackle some of the things that might be holding you back, some of the things that might be blocking you, and giving you some clarity as well as some actionable and tangible steps that you can take away from this. That's one of my big things is that you always walk away with some form of movement or action. So we will dive in. First, I just want to take a quick moment here, have everyone close their eyes, bring your hands to your hearts. We're just going to anchor into our intentions. And just take a moment to really ground into the space, a deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top. And just exhaling, really landing here from the day, everyone coming in from different time zones. Maybe you just finished work or wrapped up putting the kids to bed, but just really entering into a present moment here. And I just want you to set the intention that you get everything you need from this masterclass today. If there's something specific you're looking for, I want you to set that intention right now, sending that to your guides that I leave with XYZ, clarity, inspiration, courage, whatever it is that you need, just set that intention. And just take a moment to set an intention for the rest of 2025. It's a powerful moment when we all come together in these prayers. And we are in the cycle of a 9-year. So these next 2 months are really powerful for us to be closing out any karmic cycles that have held us back. And 2026 is our fresh start. So anything you want to transform or let go. This is also a powerful moment to just bring any fears to light that you have and send those to your guide. If you're afraid to be seen, you're afraid of betrayal, whatever it might be, just send that up to your guides. Ask them to help lift that for you today. And when you feel ready, you can go ahead and just open your eyes again, coming back to the present moment. So everyone on this call obviously has some desire to be seen in some way, or that overall that calling to do it. There's something that you're meant to express. You may not know exactly what that is yet, but you know there's something, or you do know what it is and you don't know how to articulate it, or you know what it is, you know how to articulate it, but you're feeling blocked in some way. And sometimes there's like this evasive block, right? There's this thing that you just feel like is in your way that you just can't get over, you just can't get past. So this is for the person who's never posted. This is for the person that is posting and is getting crickets. You're not getting views, likes, engagements, buyers. You're showing up all the time and nothing is converting in your business, or you're struggling to show up consistently. So you're kind of half in, half out. So no matter what pocket you fall into, you're in the right place. And know that simply by showing up today, you have already aligned to an energy of breakthrough. And so you have set your intention, which is also very powerful. And your guides are here present in this container. So knowing that when we're in a space like this together, every time you experience a transformation, everybody on the call experiences it. So we're all moving energy for each other. So these are really powerful sessions. A little bit about me, for obviously you guys all know me in some capacity, but depending on how long you've been following me, something that I'm really proud of is that nobody can do visibility the way I do it. And I'm really excited about that because it's not just to speak on what I can do, it's to shine a light that nobody can do the thing that you do the way you do it, right? And this is bringing all of you forward. So for me, I'm a publicist and a storyteller. I'm a content creator who's grown over 100,000 followers across platforms in about a year and a half, following all my own rules. I don't do anything that they tell you to do. I'm a quantum healer. I do subconscious clearing, and I'm a psychic channel with energetic alignment. And so nobody does it the way I do it. I look at it from every single angle. I bring the strategy of a publicist to help you communicate your message in the way that is meant to be communicated. I help you clear the blocks on a quantum level of the shit that holds you back, that makes it difficult for you to post. And this is important to me because when I started my journey, I hid a lot of different parts of myself. I left the corporate world and I went totally spiritual after hiding my spirituality like most of my life. And then all of a sudden I like let that loose and I put the corporate side and the publicist and my business and everything kind of aside. And it took through the visibility journey to bring that all together. So the reason I like to highlight this is because not only do I want you to see that there's literally nobody who's going to approach it this way, is that there is something that you do that nobody else can do. And I want you to think about it that way and think about the things that you don't value about yourself because maybe they come really easy to you. And those are the things that people will pay you for. The very things I didn't think were special, the very things I didn't value about myself are the exact things that make me the most amount of money today and also give me the most freedom while having a huge impact. So I want you to just kind of have that in the back of your head. What parts of you have you been suppressing? How could you bring it all together? And I think as we move forward with these astrological transits that we have going on, we really need a grounded approach of, grounding into the 3D, but also a spiritual element. So people are really looking for that combination because I think we've gone really far into the new age spirituality and we're kind of bringing that pendulum back a little bit to ground that here into something tactical and tangible that we can all move forward with. And then also taking ourselves out of the part that's been, hiding probably a lot of our spirituality. There is a collective shift that's happening right now. That's why you're going to be feeling the call more and more, and it gets louder and louder until you step forward into that energy. There are so many transits that are happening, but part of what's taking place is that as a collective, we're shifting back to our true soul identity. So a lot of us are also feeling confused, who we are, what our purpose is, what are we doing here, how do we do it? So if you're feeling that way, there's nothing wrong with you. You're actually feeling the exact thing that you're meant to right now, and you're in the exact right place. So if you feel lost at all, just give yourself a break. The breakthroughs, the clarity, all of that will come as you move forward, but it's totally okay if you feel like you're having a little bit of an identity crisis. Part of the reason I'm so passionate about visibility is that when you clear visibility wounds, it is clearing you on a soul level. So I call it soul level liberation. And when I first started doing this a year and a half ago, I was I would go out and talk about soul level liberation, and people were like, "What are you talking about? That's intense, that's crazy. Like what is this girl talking about?" And I didn't really understand it at the time. You can even see I called myself a soul liberator over here. That was really what I was focused on, is because I saw through my journey of visibility that it literally changed my entire life. And it wasn't just about showing up and posting content, because the fear of being seen is the fear of being yourself. It's that something is inherently wrong with us. Something about our self-worth, our value, whatever it is not worthy of being expressed. It's not worthy of being seen. It's not worthy of living that experience. And when you start to clear these blocks, it clears your love blocks, it clears your abundance blocks, it clears so much. And it's one of the deepest healing journeys. So I want you to post your content. I want you to build incredible businesses, but my impact that I'm here to have is soul level liberation. And I do that through the lens of visibility, because it's all of my skills combined. Visibility wounds are multidimensional. So it's not just clearing the emotions, right? There's energetic patterns that live in our bodies. There is past life situations that are coming up that bring silence and suppression. There are ancestral. There is the fear of being canceled on a very 3D level. There's so many different things that come up to that. So it's a very multidimensional process. And I like people to understand that, because I know what it feels like to be trying to get visible and not able to show up, to be trying to get visible and not getting those results. It's not you. It's just that there's a multidimensional aspect to this. And as you do this clearing, you begin to discover your true soul self. And when you step into authentic visibility, you collapse all timelines. You truly become the creator of your life. It is so much more than just a visibility, just to post the content, get on stage and talk. Like, it is so much more than that. It brings you back to who you are on a soul level. It activates the soul blueprint. And when our ego is no longer in charge and our soul is running the show, oh my God, is life so much easier, right? It's like the soul knows what to do. The soul knows how to navigate everything. We're not in this place of, chaotic decision making and feeling like we don't have clarity and feeling all of these different frustrations. The soul knows what it's meant to do. It's just been buried really deep because of the matrix programming that's here. And to allow this to be a journey of self-discovery, a journey of expression, and really treat it like a playground, right? And then I like to point out over here on the left, I was terrified of being seen a year and a half ago, like absolutely terrified to be seen. I had hidden my entire life. And then I started posting on TikTok, and then I started posting on Instagram in like January or February, whenever that TikTok ban thing was happening. I only started on Instagram because I felt like I had to. And I had over 1 million views in 30 days. And that was within 6 months of posting. And so I point that out because I want you to know how fast things can change for you. Like, that to me would not have ever been possible when I first started posting. That was like a pipe dream of like that level of visibility. But things can move very, very quickly when we allow it to, and we focus more on the healing work that needs to take place as we also express ourselves. Okay. So some guidelines. My first thing, if you've worked with me in any capacity, is ditch all the friggin' rules. Whatever rules you have in your head, whatever anybody has told you, ditch those. About social media, business, personal branding, all of it. Because you truly do get to create your experience. When I first started with social media, actually even before I started, I had all these ideas in my head of like, oh, it's going to take forever to build a following. Social media is going to drain my energy. It takes so much to post every day, and I have to engage with everybody, and I have to do all of these things. And like, all of these were stories that other people had said, or I heard people talk about online, that like I took on as belief systems. And so it felt very intimidating to even start, because it just felt like such a heavy lift. And as soon as I decided, like, that's not how I'm going to do social media. It's going to be different. My experience totally changed. And so now I post when I feel like it. I post when I'm inspired. There are times where I don't post for weeks at a time. I have one TikTok account I haven't posted on in 4 months. My accounts still grow. I'm still supported financially. Like, I just don't subscribe to any of these stories about what we have to do or that we have to drain ourselves to be a part of the social media world. So whatever stories, whatever rules, anything you've been told, just ditch it and start creating your own. In November of last year, so about a year ago, Pluto shifted from Capricorn to Aquarius, where it's going to be for now the next 19 years. And this is bringing a massive shift to our society. This is bringing a level of authenticity that we have not seen before. And that's really important because authenticity is how you unplug from the matrix. It's how you unplug from every program that is happening. And with that being said, what has worked previously in personal branding, social media, like what we saw blow up in 2020 with the influencer style and the curated aesthetics and the podcast videos and all of these things, those things will not work anymore because they're not authentic, they're curated. And so it's another reason why you need to ditch the rules and adopt your own and always lead with authenticity, which we're going to get into a lot more in this. Know that action brings clarity. So don't wait for the clarity to come. It's going to come from you taking action. It's going to come from just showing up, posting, being messy, doing things when it doesn't make sense. And I know for me, divine intervention has always come from the thing that I just can't logically make sense of. The action that I'm given never makes sense for the problem that I'm trying to solve. But when I just move forward, so much opens up. So whatever you leave with today, just take action. Because I know it can be really easy to come to these webinars and these classes and have all of these ideas and inspiration and then not actually move forward with it. But just know, like, the divine meets you where you meet the divine. So really open that pathway. And again, authenticity is really all that matters in this process. If you are authentic online, you can throw everything out and you would be totally fine. Some basic principles: your impact and your abundance are directly related to the level of your visibility. So anybody who is here to share a mission, you have some type of calling on your heart that you want to share, visibility is absolutely necessary. And this is somewhere where I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm good in person, I'm good on stage, I don't want to post on social media. I want to post on TikTok, but I don't want to post on Instagram. Trust me, these are all things I said as well. So I don't say that from a place of judgment, but just know that we are meant to be visible in every space. We're not meant to be limiting ourselves. And what you want to do is clear the blocks that tell you where it's safe to be visible. And then if you still want to make a decision that you don't want to be on a platform, that's okay, but it's at least not driven by a fear. Because social media is a really beautiful message to distribute your message, is a really beautiful medium to distribute your message and your frequency to the world. I mean, everybody and their mother is on social media. So it would be crazy to not use one of these platforms or to use one and not the other. Social media is also not your enemy, right? And so it doesn't have control over you. It's a mirror that is responding to your energy. So social media is going to mirror back to your wounds, not your self-worth, but it's going to mirror back to you, your wounds. So it's not going to be like, oh, I'm in TikTok jail or I'm in this view jail, or none of that power is outside of yourself. You want to bring that power back in and to just understand that there's probably some tweaks that need to happen either to the format of your content, to the energy, to the blocks that you have. But social media is not your enemy. There is not an algorithm that's in control of you that you have to try to master or figure out. It's really just a mirror. Your presence is going to evolve as you do. So let it be a journey, allow it to change, allow it to grow. If you need to pivot, if you need to change your message, like, you're not making decisions out of permanence here. We're just showing up, playing with what feels good and allowing it to move. And then know that visibility blocks come up in layers. So they come up when it's the first time you're posting, the first time you show up consistently, when you're refining your message, when you go viral, selling yourself. All of this is like different layers of visibility that come up. Let them come up and don't resist them, because they move through your body so much more quickly if you can just allow it. And it's usually some block that is also blocking abundance, that is also blocking love, that is also blocking these other areas in your life. And then again, be messy. This is a playground. To me, failure doesn't exist. We're just collecting data. So if something doesn't work, it's not a reflection on you. Nobody wanted to hear you. Nobody wanted to listen to you. Like, none of that is true. It is just truly collecting data and using it as a playground to just literally test things out. And then I like to show these pictures here. This one at the top is one of the very first TikToks I ever made. And I was at a rock bottom when I started posting content, like the rockiest rock bottom I had been at. And then this is a video from just like a month ago, and you can see the change in my energy. But I allowed myself to show up in rock bottom. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be totally healed. You don't have to be anything in order to start showing up. The magic that happened for me is that I was willing to allow myself to be witnessed in my evolution, which is super uncomfortable. Being human is embarrassing. Trying new things is embarrassing. But I allowed that witnessing to take place. But you can totally see the difference in my energy here. So wherever you're at today, you don't need to be anything other than what you are to start posting. And that's really important. So the 3 foundations that we're going to go over today is energy, authenticity, and message. And if you nail these, you're good. You're good on social media. Like, this is the only 3 things you really need to be thinking about to start growing your following, to convert people into your business, and to start creating whatever community and platform that you're looking to create. So no matter what you do, always bring it back to these 3 principles. And we're going to break them down a little bit more here. When I talk about your energy from a tactical perspective, your energy is going to set the tone for how your audience receives you. So remember that your audience feels your energy before they ever see you or hear you. And you can start to even pay attention to your own scroll on social media. Start to feel like when you go and you're just scrolling away, you're scrolling based off of somebody's energy. You're not scrolling based off of the hook or anything else yet. So the energy is super important. If you're coming in and you have a lot of shame in your field, people will feel that. They may not be like, oh, she's full of shame or he's full of shame, but they're going to feel like something's off here. Something doesn't feel totally right. And so when I see someone's energy field has a lot of blocks, this is where I can see like people aren't getting any views. Sometimes they're getting a lot of views and a lot of followers, but nobody's buying from them because they don't feel that trust factor. And sometimes this is when you just don't show up consistently because every single time you go to post, there's this block in your field that isn't being dealt with. And so again, visibility is how you heal yourself. If you can take the moment to have that awareness in those times when you're going to hit post and allow yourself to just say, what's coming up? Like, am I feeling like I need to like water myself down here because I'm afraid I'm going to trigger someone else on the other side of this phone? Do I feel like I need to be someone or present in a way that I'm not? I often, when I work with clients, I see them trying to present themselves the way everybody else does. And so in 2020, when everything kind of blew up for like coaches and healers, you started seeing all of this messaging around like 50K cash months, 100K cash months, look at this luxury life, all of those things. And so I see people start to show up in that energy, but if that's not authentic to you, people feel that. So you want to really show up with the energy that you are embodying right now and not try to be something that you're not, right? And if that style is authentic to you, then by all means do it. Before you post, it's really important to just kind of ground and clear your energy. Allow yourself to really take a moment to come into connection with the piece of content that you're making. So one of the things I always do is I'm generally talking to a previous version of myself in what I create. A lot of it is channeled, and then I figure out a way to articulate it on the whiteboard or whatever I'm doing. But I'm talking to a previous version of me. So if I'm talking about somebody who's blocked, or maybe they're, blocked in manifestation, or they're having all these other issues, I really connect to what it felt like to be me in that moment and what I needed. And then that's the frequency I film in. So if I feel like I'm delivering you a solution, I film in the frequency of having a solution for your problem. If I'm offering a post that's more hopeful or inspirational, I film in the frequency of like, I have hope for you, because that is, again, what people will feel, even if it's on a subconscious level. And then when you go to post your content, don't scroll beforehand. Oh, it is like so easy to just let things get into your head, or to just like get kind of start filtering yourself to whatever you just saw, or start wanting to imitate things. So I try to, like, when I go to record my content, I try to make sure I haven't been on social media or scrolling or doing anything that's kind of like getting into my headspace, because it's also just so easy to go into comparison mode. And then build an energetic routine for your content. So something before, some type of like breath work or movement or EFT tapping, maybe prayer, maybe it's going for a walk, and then build a routine to help you detach once you post. So you're not constantly going back and checking how did it do, and then either getting really excited or getting really down. You want to just be able to detach from it and know that you put your authenticity out into the world and let that frequency do what it's meant to do. The most common blocks that I see in people's fields that is impacting their content is shame, fear, anger, and self-worth. So those are the ones that I always see. And then sometimes I see like a little bit of betrayal energy, like they're afraid they'll be betrayed, they're afraid they'll be attacked, or especially if they've had some trauma in their lives, they're afraid that maybe even that person would come after them. But when you're holding those things in your field, I'm not saying don't start posting content until you're totally healed. That's not the case at all. But it's to understand that when those things are in your field, that is what's going on when you're not getting the results that you want. So again, it's a mirror to you to understand like, okay, there's still some shame here when I go to share this story, or I'm still feeling fearful about this, or imposter syndrome is coming back up. And instead of just ignoring it or trying to push through and post, you really want to be able to like look at that and say, how can I actually neutralize this? How can I alchemize this? And as you do that, and these blocks that are in your field, if you've seen my videos with the circle and either Bob or Jane, as you do that, that energy starts to dissipate and your true authentic frequency can go out. And when you're in your authenticity, your frequency does the work. It goes in, it finds your people, it brings in the sales, it does all the things that you want it to do without you having to like go, push this rock uphill. And then often I see a fear of success or a fear of failure in someone's field. So a lot of times they're actually very afraid of the thing that they want. They might even be afraid of things getting good, of things taking off in their business because they've been in survival for so long that when the thought of something getting good, what if the rug gets pulled out from underneath me? What if this doesn't last? What if I can't handle it? So again, you just want to be aware of what's coming up in your field and use this to be the thing that clears these blocks so that you can have the impact that you're meant to have. So homework for this is to write your story start to finish, and like your whole life story, and think about, where do you hold emotions that need to be alchemized? What parts of yourself do you hide? As you put that story out there, like, where do you feel shame? What part do you feel most excited to share? When you write your story start to finish and you really see like, oh, I don't know that I'd want to air that out on social media. I don't know that and you don't have to, but when you clear the block of it, that's when you start dissolving that shame and that fear and those things that are blocking your frequency from getting to where it wants to be. What is your worst case scenario? Name it. Are you afraid you're getting canceled? Are you afraid that someone's going to come after you? Are you afraid that nobody's going to see you? Are you afraid that you're going to get judged, mocked, whatever? Name whatever that fear is, and then walk yourself through it. Because often the thing that's holding us back is the unknown. But even if your worst case scenario happens, and you at least know how you're going to handle it, it takes away the unknown. So that fear starts to lose its power over you. And then you make a decision that you're just not available for that scenario to happen. And you just move forward, because that worst case scenario isn't going to go away unless you take action. And a lot of times that's where people stop, right? When you go to create content, think about the emotions that are coming up for you. Are you seeking something from the audience, or are you serving the audience? A lot of times when people are posting content and they have a lot of stuff going on in their field, they're looking for something from the audience. So they might be sharing a message, but they're really looking for validation. They're really looking to be seen, to be heard. And not to say you don't deserve those things, but when you're putting content out from that vibration, you will literally attract the exact opposite. Think about it from the part of manifesting. When you're like desperately clinging to something or really needing it, it creates resistance. And so when people come across your content, again, they're not even going to hear your message. They're going to feel that energy and it feels unresolved, and they're going to keep scrolling. And then again, create a routine for yourself for both posting and detaching from it. And create something that also helps you like ground yourself when your content goes really freaking well and it does exactly what you want it to do, and it maybe went viral or it brought in sales. Like, have a routine to actually celebrate that and sit in that energy so you can bring more of it in, and have a routine for when it doesn't go well and you just need to like kind of have a shame spiral, like to keep yourself from actually spiraling, but allow yourself to just kind of sit with that discomfort. Like, have some routines in place for yourself so that it doesn't stop your journey, because a lot of people will post, things will go well, then they'll post something, it doesn't go exactly how they wanted it to, or they had like, I get so many clients who will have this one post that in their mind is going to go viral. This is the post that goes viral. And as soon as it doesn't go viral, they just crash, and it's really hard to come back and keep posting content from that. So like really being able to detach and then hold yourself in all of the different outcomes. So I'm just going to bring up the chat because I can see we have something in here. Thank you, Jody. Feel free to drop questions in the chat as they come up for you guys. I will keep checking the chat to see if there's more things that you guys want to dive into. Okay, authenticity. This is the most important part of everything. And this is truly what the world is going to start operating on with that massive shift with Pluto. But you want to share from your current embodiment, not from trying to sound or be like someone else or be like the future version of you. I know in the beginning when I started sharing, there was often this thing of like, why would somebody buy something from me? Like, who am I, right? I need to present a certain way, or I need them to feel like I'm an expert, or whatever it might be that comes through for you. Nobody wants something that you don't have, right? And this is where if you post from an embodiment that is not authentic and it's not truly genuine, this is what kind of can mess things up is you will attract people who are not meant to be in your field because you're going to attract the person who wants the thing you're pretending to have. Versus if you are authentically yourself, you will only attract the people who need the exact medicine that you have to offer today. And they will be wowed by you. They will want to leave reviews. They will want to refer people to you. So just really show up as who you are instead of who you think you need to be, especially when it comes to branding. Try not to script your content. It ends up just watering yourself down. It's okay if you need to like write it out a little bit, but you really want to let yourself kind of free fly through this and just like share in the moment, right? Share what's on your heart. Sometimes that's literally whipping up the camera when you just have an idea and you just start free talking. A lot of times for me, it's like I have an idea of something I want to say and I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but I can just throw the camera up and start talking to it. And then eventually the message kind of flows. So I might post a 3-minute video. It could have been 10 minutes of me talking until I got into my flow and figured out like, here's the message I want to say. So just allow yourself to be in that embodiment. Another really great practice that can be helpful is journal entries, like voice entries, voice notes on your phone. So what I started doing to get comfortable with just talking is at the end of the day, I would like journal out loud into a voice note. And that got me just comfortable talking in that format and long form talking. And that helped me that when I was making a 2 to 3 minute video and I really needed to like nail a point down, I could actually do that. And it helped me a lot with my whiteboard videos because in the beginning, those were like 10-minute videos. And now I can get those done in like 3 minutes and still get people in and out with the actions that they need. Use your story to humanize your message. People are always buying you. One of the things I always say is like, your brain is worth millions, but your wisdom is worth billions. So your lived experience, your truth, the things that you have been through are the things that people are going to actually want from you, not just your message. People want to know who you are, what you've been through, what you've lived through. They want to know that other aspect. So you want to humanize what you're doing by incorporating your own story into it. You want to show your face, your voice, your quirks. That's your brand signature. That's who you are. So a lot of people try to get away with like the faceless content. And if that is the thing that you want to do, absolutely do it. But I can tell you in this new age we're in, we are not meant to be hiding or shrinking in any way. We are meant to be fully visible. So share, let people see you stumble over your words. Let people see you in a more vulnerable, authentic state, and let that be your brand signature. I think a lot of times we make branding a really big deal. And it doesn't have to be. It can actually be super, super simple. Authenticity is not exposure. So this is really important because I'll work with clients a lot and they'll tell me, well, I'm being authentic because I shared my story. That's a piece of authenticity, but that's not all of it. I'll hear them say things like, well, I, brought them into my kitchen to cook dinner with me, or I did a day in my life, or I ate a meal while I was talking. Like, just because you're exposing a part of your life doesn't mean that's authentic. Authenticity is truth. Authenticity is your alignment. Authenticity is whatever is happening for you right now. And so it's not hiding parts of yourself. It's not like putting parts of you that you feel shame over or whatever might be going on aside. It's showing up as an embodied version of who you are today. And that's also okay if it's a little bit different every day. And your goal isn't to be liked, it's to find your people. It's to be able to express who you are and know that if you are authentic, your people will find you. That is a frequency radio signal that goes out to the masses and it will call your people in. And just trusting that who you are is enough. I always teach that your frequency is the gift, your spiritual gifts, your certifications, your knowledge, your methodologies, your frameworks, whatever it is that you have is the icing on the cake. The medicine is your frequency. That will do more for anybody else than anything you can offer. And so you have to know that you are already enough just as you are today. And everything else that you offer is just the icing on the cake. So that's why it's really important to be authentic. And then also understand that through this, your magnetism is also your repellent. So you also have to be okay with repelling people. If you're going to be magnetic and call your people into you unapologetically, you're also going to have to unapologetically repel some people. And that's okay. But that can also trigger a very deep rejection wound. It can make it very confusing when you're making content because you can make something. I had a client who made something, it went viral. And she got tons of new followers, but she also got a ton of hate comments, a ton of hate DMs. And it was a confusing experience for her, but it was important because she was authentic. And so if you can just bypass and not allow that negative energy into your field and focus on all the people you found and being magnetic, that's the most important part. You can't please everybody in your content. I can post a video, 100 people will be like, this is the exact thing I needed to hear. Another 100 people will be like, you said nothing. You didn't answer any questions. This was a waste of time. Like, you can't please everybody. So you have to just be able to put things out there and be okay with people not liking you, people not agreeing with you, and even people telling you you're wrong. And if it triggers something within you, that's actually really powerful. So much of my healing came from comments triggering me. It just mirrored back to me wounds that I still had. So in the beginning, if someone told me I was wrong, I was like, oh, am I? And I would start to question myself when it's like, no, I'm not wrong. Two truths can exist at one time. Nobody has the absolute. Like, I'm not here to, distribute a piece of information that doesn't resonate with you. Just keep scrolling. And so it's a powerful, I always call it like a spiritual gym. You're kind of like working out through all of the different blocks that are going to come up for you. And if you see them as a gift instead of seeing them as a negative, it really changes it. And when you do that, you detach from the fear of negativity, and then you just don't become a vibrational match to it. So as I cleared those blocks and as I stopped being like quote unquote available for negativity, it was actually the greatest gift, because I was able to really move through that and then stop attracting that. And so it's a very rare experience that I have negativity now. And when it does come in, I just use it as an opportunity. Does this trigger me? No. Okay, well then I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to prove myself. I'm going to protect my peace and keep it moving. So for your homework, I want you to start looking at the invisible cage that you've put yourself in, right? So this is an invisible cage that probably started when we were children, and then we have just continued to build it up. So think about like, what are the things that you wish you could say? When are you wanting to say something, set a boundary, maybe speak out in the team meeting? These are places where like there's something you want to say, but you don't. And I also always kind of look at this of like, if you died tomorrow, what's like the one thing you'd want to get out to the world? What's that like main message that's on your heart that can really tell you the direction that you're meant to go in? And then start thinking about like, where do you get lost down a rabbit hole? What is something that like you just could spend 6 hours reading about, watching videos on, researching, whatever it is? These are all things that bring you back home to yourself. These are cues into your authenticity. Like if that thing really excites you and you can go down that hole for 6 hours, trust me, it is supposed to be a part of your personal brand and your content. There's a reason that it's a part of your soul. And then your magic is your alchemy. So think about the things that you've overcome. What have you learned? And just think about all the previous versions of yourself and what could you help that version of you with? How would you say it? What steps or actions did you need to take? And when you think about it that way and you're just talking to a version of yourself, it can also take off some of the pressure of like, oh, I'm talking to this phone of, infinite amounts of people with this video that I have no idea where it's going. So just visualize that it's a version of you on the other side of that. And then your truth meter is to just take notice. Where do you water yourself down? Often in the beginning, I'd go to film a video and I would totally change the message because I'd be so afraid. Like, oh, I want to make sure this lands gently. I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to trigger them. What if they say X, Y, Z? It's okay if you're doing that in the beginning, but just take note of it because those are the areas that you really want to step forward and look at that block and say, where is this coming from? And pay attention to that in your physical life as well. When you have visibility wounds, it shows up everywhere. You're not going to speak up at the team meeting. You're not going to go for the promotion. You don't have the leadership role that you want. You're not setting the boundaries in your relationships. Like this stuff bleeds into everything. That's why I call it like soul level liberation. Before I go on, any questions so far that you want to drop in the chat or anything coming up for anyone? Big aha, embodying the energy of the version I was when I was experiencing the message I am sharing. So it's received in that vibration. Yeah, Carlin, it's really, really impactful, really, really changing when you can be in the vibration of like, I'm your solution. or I'm your peace, or I'm your inspiration. That really helps. And that helps the person on the other end, again, before they even see you, they're just like, oh, this person has something I need, you know? So good. I'm glad that was an aha for you. Feel free, you guys, to drop things in the chat or let me know if you have questions. Okay. Next, we're going to get into messaging, but before we do that, I know there's some people on this call that are going to be ready to like level up their impact, their abundance. And so I want to share with you my offer of the Ascension Lab because it's the thing I'm most proud of creating like ever. And so this is a mentorship and community space. And this is something that doesn't exist anywhere else. So I've combined literally all of my skills into this space. So you have the Break Free and Be Seen course here. So this is where we go through and we clear on a quantum level and on the emotional level, all of your blocks, fears, anything that is coming up with the success of your business, your visibility, clarity on your message. We clear all of the blocks. We upgrade your identity to your true soul level identity. We do a complete abundance reset and we help you to connect to your purpose. So whether you know what your purpose is and you need a deeper connection or kind of that like next step of how to live your purpose, or whether you don't know what your purpose is and you want to understand, this is the course that I've walked over the last year and a half, about 500 people through. And it's like a blueprint system that I've just perfected. And I'm so excited for it because when you clear these blocks, you truly can step into a version of yourself that you didn't think existed or that you didn't think was even possible in this lifetime. And I've seen it over and over again with my clients. So this is 11 modules of like the ultimate preparation for visibility and success. Because again, if you go viral or you get a bunch of sales, you need to be able to hold that, right? It all sounds good, but like, can you hold that vibration? And then I bring in all of my expertise, both from all the tech startups that I worked at, as well as PR and branding. And so I teach you step by step how to create a magnetic personal brand, how to articulate your magic and your message and what you do. That's really hard for a lot of people. They're like, I have this thing that I do, but I don't know how to communicate it in a way that makes people understand or want to buy. So I help you create that message. I help you create an irresistible offer. Make that shit undeniable. So people are like, absolutely, it would be crazy for me to not buy this. And then I show you how to get yourself published into the media. So if you want to get into traditional media like Forbes or Entrepreneur or, you know, whatever publication would be most like, would give you the most credibility in your industry. And then how to get yourself booked on podcasts. So that's creating total authority. And then I have the social media mastery. And this is how you discover your unique visibility codex. And this was a game changer for me because this is bringing together astrology, human design, your personal archetypes. It not only tells you who you are and how you're meant to express yourself, it also tells you what your people want from you. So in the beginning, I didn't know that my people wanted deep, deep details. So I would keep stuff surface level. But as soon as I understood that from doing this visibility codex, I was like, oh, my people want details. The people I'm here to serve want the nitty gritty. And I was able to start communicating that in my content and I was able to grow really quickly. So this is going to tell you how you're supposed to show up. You might be someone who is supposed to share after you've mastered something. You might be someone who's meant to share within your process. There's different types. And if you're not embodying that true archetype, you're going to have resistance and your people are still going to have a hard time finding you. And then mastering how to make content that calls your people in, knowing the formula for content, both energetically and tactically. I teach you how to share your story in your content, how to sell your offers, because it can be really awkward to sell on social media for some people. And I show you how to build your community and establish your rhythm. So that's 6 modules to the unapologetically visible timeline. And then it also comes with live coaching calls. So every single week we get on Zoom live. And if you can't make the calls, you can submit your question and you can ask healing, business, visibility, branding, like whatever questions you are having, we workshop them in real time. So you're getting this one-to-one feedback. And then the vault of content. So there's so much in here already. There's already over 100 different lessons in there, but I add new content every month. There's energetic clearings that I do Akashic record clearing in there. There's activations, channeled messages, and then new things come every month based on the themes and what people are going through. So you can also submit things in and ask for content on certain things that you'd love to see, maybe a lesson on. And then there's a community. So this is like-minded people that are on your journey. And this is like a true form of connection. I know there's like a lot of community portals out there, but I've designed this in a way where people actually show up and share every day. So you don't have to be on the journey alone, because it can be really hard to like be building your business and creating social. And sometimes you just need someone to bounce ideas off of, or you want to like celebrate a win or share something. And so the community part is really important to me. And throughout the journey, I take you through what I call the ascension ladder. So the first step is breaking free. Then we anchor you into your identity. We connect and solidify your purpose with your soul's blueprint and how to articulate it in a way that's authentic for you, in a way that attracts your people, and then the invisibility aspect. That way you can reach your greatest impact, your abundance, your freedom, your joy. So this is my methodology that I have designed over the last year and a half, and I've had so much success with it with my clients. It's like truly my greatest joy to see people move through this. And I wanted to give you a couple, I have a couple of reviews that you can see from people who are in the community. This one page is all from one client. This is Rebecca. And what I wanted to share with this one is it's really freaking cool, because I always tell people when you clear your visibility blocks, you clear so much. So for her, she has a full-time corporate job in a tech space, and she's building her spiritual business. And since we've been working together and since she's been in the lab, she was starting to implement the social media content and as well as clearing the blocks. She got a video posted, 40,000 views, 550 new followers. And that was only within 24 hours. So that's continued to grow for her. And before that, she was getting like total crickets. Like she thought she was in TikTok jail. She had an unexpected bonus pop out of nowhere that she wasn't expecting. She thought she was going to get like $200. She got like $1,500. And this is helping her go on a vacation. And then she works at this tech company where she had to do a presentation, and all of a sudden she had no fear of presenting, and she was able to present to 100 people, and felt confident about being herself and showing up as a leader. So I'm telling you, like when you clear visibility blocks, it clears abundance. It clears how you show up in every place of your life, literally. And then a few other reviews in here. So the energy clearing was so powerful. She could feel something coming out of her abdomen. I put this in here because I really want to highlight that this is so multidimensional. It is not just about clearing and reprogramming the subconscious. Like there is energy in your body that needs to move. And then for this client here, she has a coaching business, and she 8 times her investment just in the first month. Actually in week 2. So the content is so powerful because it literally covers everything. Like you're going to have so much clarity on how to move forward and clear your blocks. And then this is just more that's just sharing how impressed people are with the content, because I feel like in this space, there's so many courses and coaching programs and community spaces out there. I know for me, I have been let down and disappointed by so many of these spaces where I've gone in and I'm like, this isn't what I was expecting, or there's no real community here. And for me, I mean, this is what people are posting in the community. Like they're sharing stuff every single day. So I share that with all of you because I want you to understand that when I designed this program, my intention is that it's not going to just be another course you don't take. It's not just another community space where people are silent. Like this is truly a life-changing experience inside the Ascension Lab. So this is available to everybody who's here. It's $111 per month. It's a subscription. You can come and go at any time. And the first 5 people who do join, you can send me a piece of your content and I'll do a full video audit on it for you and send you a recording to read into your energy field and what's going on, to read into basically your messaging from like the PR aspect. I'll give you feedback on all of that. So I would love to have you all in there, but this is the next step for those who are ready to step forward in this visibility journey. And like I said, it clears every layer of your life. And it's a really good time to do that while we're in the year 9. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. Oh, we've got some questions in the chat. How to overcome the fear. Okay, so how to overcome the fear of lack from being authentic. Zara, can you elaborate on that question? What is the fear of lack? Or why are you attaching lack to authenticity? If you can just clarify that a little bit. Jaban, I hope I'm saying that right. Should we use advertisement for promoting in Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media, or just organic post? I always recommend that you organic post until you know what's working, because otherwise you're just going to spend money on ads and you're kind of shooting in the dark. So you want to really know your message and test it organically as much as possible. And then when you feel like you've got the thing, you can absolutely put ad dollars behind it. But I've grown my audience without having to do that. So My method is really about your frequency and the authenticity doing the work for you. However, ad spend is great. Just make sure you have your message nailed down. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing money out there and hoping it works. Corey, you're definitely going to sign up. You're going to be on an online TV show early next year. Ooh, that's amazing, Corey. Congratulations. Tell us more about that TV show. How exciting. Would love to have you. Okay, we're going to dive into the messaging. So a lot of people get confused with the messaging aspect. You want to pick one overarching message, right? The articulation of your mission. And then you want to have like 3 to 5 pillars that support that. So if I use myself as an example, visibility, all I talk about, everything is overcoming the fear of being seen, authentic visibility. It is the overarching message for any video that I make. But I also talk about manifesting. I talk about abundance. I talk about just the healing journey. Like there's other things I incorporate it into it. I bring my spiritual gifts into it. So you want to have that one overarching message that no matter what, when people come across your content, they understand it. Because you have to remember, most people are not going to your profile. You're coming up on their For You page and they're getting that one experience with you. So a lot of times when people are posting content, there's like, oh, this whole big picture. There isn't. Whatever you're posting in that short video is exactly what people are interacting with. So you want to be able to always tie it back to your main mission. That doesn't mean you can't play around and have fun and do other types of self-expression. But just remember, if you put a video out there that has nothing to do with anything that you do and say it attracts a ton of people, well, those people are going to come into your world. But then if they come into your world and they see all your other videos, they're probably just going to leave because it doesn't align with the thing, right? So again, it's not that you don't do that stuff. You want to express yourself and have fun, but really pay attention from a business perspective. Who are you bringing into your world and are you calling the right people in? And then practice different ways to communicate your message. So I have videos where I just talk to the camera. I have videos where I use my whiteboard. I do it in all different ways. I have videos where I just have channeled live or I've pulled my cards or whatever, but you have to just kind of practice and see what feels good for you. And then also see how people respond. So when I started using the whiteboard, like I was saying the exact same things a year ago, but I was just doing it talking to the camera. And some people got it, but a lot of people were also lost or they didn't know how to implement what I was saying. But when I then broke it down on the whiteboard, like people knew, oh, I can take this information and take an action on it. It also helped me get like thoughts clear in my head. So play around and see, is there props? Are there visuals that you want to use? Or maybe you do just talk face to camera. Like a combination of things is always the best, but you got to just play around and see what feels good to you. And then don't make decisions from a place of permanence. You have to let things evolve. You've got to be able to change and pivot. So, last year, like I said, I really talked about soul level liberation, but that's what I wanted to talk about. But that message didn't align to the audience. The audience was not picking up what I was putting down. They weren't really getting it. So they would want to come in for readings and get channeled readings, but they wouldn't necessarily want to do the transformational work or the healing, which is what my passion is, to do both of those. And so I had to pivot and change that. And when I started focusing on visibility, I started calling in people who wanted to do both parts of that. And who understood what I was saying and were ready to take those next steps. So, there's building a following, but then there's also building a following and building a business. And those are two different things. Again, connect your personal story. People want to know about you. They also want to buy from a person who has been through the thing that they're paying you for, right? Like a lot of people tend to rely on certifications and their knowledge and like all these methodologies, but they want to know that you've gone through and walked through the fire of whatever it is that you're selling or sharing or creating. They want to know that. So they want your personal story. That's why I often share about the narcissistic experiences that I've had, the healing that I've done, the rock bottoms, because I feel like I am very qualified to help anybody out of a rock bottom after so many of them. And so I talk about that because I want people to understand I've been there. I know where you are. I'm not just like preaching a random methodology. So think about the things you've been through and how can you bring that into your 3 to 5 pillars that support your overall mission. A good key is, do you feel lit up to talk about it? Does it excite you? Does it energize you? Sometimes I work with clients and they have these brand messages and they're like, oh, I hate talking about that though. That should not be a part of your brand message. If it does not light you up to talk about it, it shouldn't be something that you're incorporating. You should feel so excited. Like with my brand pillars, I have so much to say that I just don't even have enough time or energy to make the amount of content for the amount of stuff that I have to say on it. But it's something I love talking about, and you would find me talking about it like regardless if I wasn't making content and just in my personal life. So really pay attention. Are you energized by this? Because people will feel that too. Make sure you're rooted in your truth. Be grounded. but communicate the frequency of the message. So excitement, hope, solutions. And then share from whatever that natural archetype is for you. Are you the teacher? Are you the leader? Are you the comedian? Really tap into what is that natural energy of yours. And it's not always the energy that you've embodied your whole life, because sometimes the energy you've embodied your whole life is from trauma. So sometimes we got to still heal those blocks and figure out what your true archetype is, which is that visibility codex I was telling you guys about. So your astrology, human design, soul contracts, those can all be really powerful tools to kind of figure these things out. And then your homework. If you could only talk about one topic every single day, what would that be? Like if you literally, they were like, you can only talk about this one thing forever, what would that be? That is a huge indicator that that is part of your core messaging. People will again feel that. And then think about how you want yourself to, or how you want people to feel, and how can you express yourself to invoke that feeling? So there are times when I show up in my content and I'm very animated and I'm kind of bossy and I'm telling people what to do. There are times where I show up and I'm very docile and just kind of cool and calm, because those are the frequencies I want to bring to the content that I'm creating and to the person who's receiving it. There are times where I show up and I really just want to hype people up or inspire them. So it's like whatever that piece is, that is the feeling that I'm trying to push into that content for that person to receive. Do you want signature colors? Do you want a signature style? Do you want some type of energetic signature in your videos that people will come across? So that can even be like the color tone, that can be colors that you wear, certain hairstyles, people will wear funky glasses, like whatever it feels like for you. I don't know that I really have one, but I don't think you need one. It's just whether or not that's a part of your expression. And then how can you bring your whole self to the table, right? You're very multidimensional. Bring all of you to the table. You're not meant to compartmentalize yourself, which a lot of us have been used to doing throughout our life. So you're meant to bring all of you. And that's why I bring all aspects that I finally gathered over the last year and a half, from telling my story, my PR experience, my messaging, the visibility experience, like the quantum healing. Like I bring all of it in. So that's what you really want to do, is like all aspects of yourself. If you were to create, I always have people inside the Ascension Lab create what I call a soul resume, because we know how to create a career resume, but if you create a resume for your soul, that's what should be expressed in your content. And that can bring a lot of pieces together that you might otherwise not think about. And then think about the different types of content. I just kind of put some of the most common ones here. So educational, entertainment, personal, promotional, inspirational. And play with these different types. Like maybe you want to teach, and then maybe in one you want to do, like I do some comedy skits on mine. Maybe sometimes it's just going to be telling your story. Maybe you combine these and you're like, I need to promote this offer, but I also need to make it fun and entertaining to retain people. So play around with these different ones and kind of combine them. And again, use it as a playground to collect data for what feels good to you, but then also what works. And then a couple of other things here is for light workers, healers, soul-led people who are on a mission, authenticity is at the core. If it's not real, it's going to crumble. And I am telling you, with this shift with Pluto, it is going to crumble. So this is, if you already have a business or you're already expressing yourself and it's not authentic to you, now is the time to course correct that. And now is the time to embody your authenticity, because those who do that right now are going to be positioned. I don't like the word leaders, but are going to be positioned as like guides, or those who people are turning to. And remember, it's not about how you want to be perceived. It's about becoming you. It's about being you in every situation, both online, in your personal life, in your business. And it's about shining your light so fucking bright that everybody can find it. Everybody can find it. That is when you have liberated your soul. And then it's the truth of your reality. So a lot of people don't know what to share when it comes to quote unquote sharing your truth. And I know this is something I was really confused about, but it's your truth. You don't have to worry about being wrong, right? Like I often will compare this to like doctors practice medicine, lawyers practice law. Like, but then we go to create a piece of content and we have all this pressure on ourselves about what we're supposed to do, or if this is right, or if somebody's gonna, however they're gonna respond. It's your truth. You're not here to like tell people what to do. You're offering your truth, your wisdom, and those who align to it will come. And then operate from unconditional love. When you operate from the frequency of unconditional love and kindness, you cannot be canceled. When people are canceled, first of all, I mean, half the people who are canceled, it helped their career, but cancellation comes when we're out of alignment. And so if you are always in the frequency of unconditional love and kindness, you are protected. You will not be canceled. And that's like a big fear that people have. So if you always operate from that space, like literally nothing bad can happen. There can be mean comments. There can be people who don't like what you have to say. But if you come from the right frequency, it won't matter. You'll be protected. And then make your purpose bigger than your fear and let your purpose lead you. So at some point, your purpose, this calling, this desire to be seen, it has to become bigger than your fear. And the desire to create this life, whatever it is that you're envisioning, comes after this. Your business expands, the abundance, the impact, all of those things. It has to become bigger than the fear that you're holding so that you can take the actions that you need to take. Okay. So that is the presentation. Before we jump into the Q&As, I wanted to just share what my personal formula is for posting that has worked really well for me. I grew my first TikTok to over 50,000 within 9 months. Again, not listening to any stories, not listening to anything of how people said to do it. I started a brand new TikTok account in July, and within 35 days, I had over 10,000 followers. And then I've grown by like 30,000 in the last 6 months on Instagram. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I really, truly feel that this formula works. And what I always do is I sit down into my message and I'm really in tune with the why. Like I don't post things to just post. This is why I also sometimes don't post for days at a time or weeks at a time. Like I don't post to keep up with the algorithm. I don't post because I need to stay relevant. I don't post because I'm chasing something. I post when there's something that I have to express and to share. And so I really sit down into the why of my message. I know exactly why I'm showing up and what I'm doing. I know why it's important for me to do it. I tune into the frequency of the person who's receiving that message. What does that previous version of me need to hear? What do I wish someone would have told me? How did I need it to be expressed? What kind of energy did I need to get? And then I film in the solution of that energy. And then when I'm done totally filming, I also keep my editing to a minimum. I don't really edit. I just cut out like airspace or chop it up just to get it into that 3 minutes. But for the first year, I didn't edit anything. So you also don't have to do that. But then I take that video, and before I send it out, I fill that video with the frequency of love, hope, and inspiration, because those are always the frequencies that the collective is in need of. The collective is always going to need love. They're always going to need hope. They're always going to need like possibility and inspiration. I fill that video with that frequency. So if somebody is scrolling, they won't even necessarily know that that's coming from my video, but they're going to feel something. They're going to feel love. They're going to feel inspired. There's going to be a frequency movement from within them. So whatever frequency it is that you want to share with the world, especially through your content, like fill that video with it. Just visualize that light pouring into it, and then send it out and detach from it and know that it is going to exactly who it's meant to go to. I also will pray and I'll ask, God, source, spirit, whoever, take this video to those who are ready to work with me. Take this video to those who are ready to be activated into this next level. Take this video to the person who needs this message today. Take this video to the person who needs to feel love and inspiration. Take this video to wherever. You can kind of go on a rant. And then right before I hit post, I will do affirmations. Some days I show up super confident and I'm like good to go. Other days I need to like really amp myself up. Like my message is important. What I'm here to do is important. I know that this needs to be heard by the world. And I get into that frequency. I clear out anything that's coming up in the blocks, and then I send that video out, and I always get great results. So that is kind of like a very magnetic personal formula that I use to grow accounts very, very quickly. And if you implement nothing else but that today, your content will start to change and you'll start to see results. All right, let me catch up on the chat here. You signed an NDA, blah, 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 kind of wish I... Oh, that's cool. Well, we'll look forward to hearing it, Corey, for sure. How does it give us our personal visibility codes if it's pre-recorded modules, and how do we do the energetic work to clear on their pre-recorded videos? So everything is energy. So first, for the visibility codes, this is where you go through and you do all of your astrology, the human design. I pull out all of the different pieces. I've pulled out all the different archetypes. So it's self-work that you can do, and you will end up with like this short paragraph of 3 sentences of like your exact visibility code of who you're meant to be. Not who you're meant to be, how you're meant to be perceived by people who are receiving your information. So again, do they want details? Do they want you to be the master? And then energetic work is always able to be done through video. So it doesn't matter if it's pre-recorded, energy never expires. So even that review that you saw where it was like something moved out of her abdomen, that was just on a pre-recorded energy clearing that I put into the community. That one specifically was on abundance. So energy is energy. It doesn't matter if it's pre-recorded or done live. It's always available to you. Anyone else have questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat, or do you use any video editing tools? I do not. So I do the absolute bare minimum. I don't like editing. So in my visibility and in my business, I really will not do anything that I don't feel lit up by. And so for me, editing doesn't light me up. If it does in the future, then I will. But other than that, like I keep everything very raw. The only time I do editing is when I need to like cut out little spaces between words just to get it down to the 3-minute mark so I can post it on Reels. My human design, I'm a generator. And sun sign and life path sign, laugh out loud. My sun sign, I'm a Virgo. I'm a generator. My sun sign is a Virgo. My life path sign, I don't know. I know I'm a life path 5. What is the life path sign though? What is that? I'm curious. Wait, you're a generator or you're a Virgo? Which one are you? Or you're both?
Can I come up? Am I off mute?
Yeah.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my God, and my video is on too. Oh my gosh, so exciting. Hi. So I've been spending the last year and a half of my life coming up with this proprietary coaching model based on what I would love to use HD, but I feel like not enough people know 100% certainty what their birth time is.
Yeah.
So I am a life path 22, which is a master number sign, but I thought that I was a life path number 4 for like years until I accidentally found this soul coach, that like whole story that the universe brought this woman to me, but she like typed in my birth date and told me in real time that my life was epic and that I was here to be the architect of societal change. And that just validated everything in my life. I was reading this book like, I think I'm a master number. So it turns out I am. So in my coaching practice, what I'm doing is looking at everyone's life path number and dividing them into 3 different groups. So if you're what's considered in my world a lost cherry, you are life path 5, 3, and 7. And then if you are a dark cherry, you're ambitious, you're driven, you're a life path 1, 8, and 9. And then the third tier is the universal cherry, which is like the universal truths. And that's 2s, 4s, and 6s. Like there's something really interesting with 6s, but the 5 is like a bridge that I'm building right now. So it's interesting to me that
I love that. And
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think
Freedom. Freedom is everything I do. That's like everything has to be built into, if freedom's not part of it, like my whole energy rejects it.
like generators, like I can't do it if I don't want to.
Yeah.
I would fight with
totally.
every boss I've ever had. I'm like, I don't need to. I guess I need to do it. No, like you must want. So anyway,
Totally. Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, thanks for creating the platform for sharing.
Of course. Louisa, you said you're curious, do I work mostly with empaths? Yeah, I would say so. I don't know that everybody actually identifies as an empath, but I would say most of them are. Yeah, I would say that's the energy I attract. I actually think most people, I think you're an empath or you're a sociopath, basically. I think most people truly are empaths. I think there's very few people who aren't. It's just whether or not they're tapped into it. But yeah, I love working with empaths because it's such a gift, but it can feel like it's not a gift if you're not in control of it, and don't have the boundaries with it. Carlin, aspects of my story and my why. The smile shirt is just a fraction tool. So I'm going to join your membership. Yay! I'm excited to have you, Carlin. And Corey and anybody else who joins. I'm excited to have all of you guys. It's literally like my dream come true in there, and I'm so proud of it because I just know how life-changing it is. So I'm so excited for everybody. And the biggest thing for me is community, like bringing people together and actual true connection. Because I've been a part of so many communities where it's just like a dead space. And right now, especially with these astrological shifts, like we are all meant to come out of isolation. I know I was in isolation for a really long time. I know most light workers that I'm talking to, even if they've got like people in their physical world, it's like you're isolated from people who are on the same journey as you, especially when it comes to like the spiritual aspect. So I'm really excited to have you. You've been sharing your story on stages for almost 20 years, no fear of vulnerability, but you haven't gone viral and aren't serving on your greatest level. Pisces, Gemini, manifesting generator, and life past 7. Yeah. Stage and it's very different. Stage and social media. It's like 2 super different energies. So yeah, I mean,
I share on social media all the time. I need to hone it in, or I'm not attracting the people the way I could. I just feel like there's so much more I can serve, and
And do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're here to have impact for sure. Here, I'm going to drop the link to join because remember, the first 5 people, I'll actually review your video and I'll send you a recording. So let me put that in there for anybody who wants to get that aspect of it. Probably should have had that prepared.
What video?
You can share a video with me
Oh,
and I will send you like I'll audit it for you and send you like what's coming up in the energy, the messaging. So I share all of that to here. Let me grab this. There you go. So yeah, for anyone who joins here, if you're one of the first 5 that join, you can send me one of your videos, whatever platform you want to. TikTok, Instagram, like it doesn't matter, pick one and I will watch the video and then I will send you a recording with a full audit, like energetically messaging, like the whole kind of everything that I do from like the branding strategy. So it's right there for anybody who wants to. No worries, Louisa. We'd still love to have you. We have a lot of people who are just starting out in the group as well. Jody, this was great. You can see the energy you need to shift and to be more intentional with the entire energetic process. Awesome. That makes me super excited, Jody. The energy, this is also why I'm passionate about it because like we're not supposed to have to work hard. And if we are truly tapped into that authenticity and the energetic aspect, like the frequency does the work for us. It does the healing work that we need to do with our clients. It attracts the people. It's our marketing strategy. Like it is truly everything. And I think that's been a big piece that's been missing in the world of like this energetic piece that like it can literally do so much work for us, which is so fun. What was the turning point that caused you to start changing your content? When did you start to think about, oh, that's a good question, Emily. Thank you for asking. For me, so my first TikTok account, I posted mainly, so it was the first one I started and I was posting channeled messages. So when I was at my rock bottom, I had just left a narcissistic dynamic, total rock bottom, absolutely broke. My guides were like, oh, you have rent due in 3 days, post a channeled message. And so I didn't really know what to do, but I posted the channeled message. What I didn't do, and I didn't know at the time, is I stayed only posting channeled messages and doing tarot readings. And this is when I like was rejecting all of my other, like, I'm done with PR, I'm done with the corporate, like I'm done with all these other parts of myself, right? I'm going all in on my spiritual aspect of it. And I felt like I pigeonholed myself. I felt like I put myself in a box. And then when I wanted to come out of that box and expand, it was very difficult. And not to say I couldn't have done it, but that's when I finally just decided to pivot because also my excitement doesn't come from channeling. I mean, it does. I don't mean that, guys. It does come from channeling, but it also comes from the transformation aspect. Like I love the transformation. Like that's seeing people like change their lives, implement these things like movement. But I found when I was just doing the tarot and the channeled messages, I was just attracting people who wanted to be like, is everything going to be okay? What's, whatever. Like it was just 50% of the people would come in and then not know how to integrate anything. So then I created all these programs for integration to like take this reading. Because when you come in, I see all your timelines. I can see your highest timeline. I can see exactly how to get you there. And then that's also you're a free will human being. You have sovereignty. You decide whether or not you want that to be your timeline. And then I had all these integration programs to say like, pick what you like out of that timeline. And then, we'll get you an action plan for it. But when I was just doing tarot, I noticed tarot and channeled, I noticed the culture around it changed. And it was just people needing to be told things were going to be okay. And although I get that, that's not my mission. And so then I transferred it into focused more on coaching and channeling. And then that's also when I started, a few months after that is when I got the idea for the whiteboard and was like, this is how I want to pivot. But yeah, that was like a year into my journey for sure. So I think it was obvious a lot earlier, but I think I had a lot of fear of trying to figure out how to switch. I also really was like not wanting to start a new TikTok account because I was like, I worked so hard for this one. Like, and it's still up there and I have it going because I also just like that it's this like digital imprint of my beginning. So it's almost like a photo album for me. But there was a part of me that was like, I worked hard to build that. I don't want to start from scratch, but I started from scratch and I don't look back at all. Yeah, that's a good question though. So when you'll feel when you've outgrown something, but that's why it's really important to me. And everything I teach now is to be very multidimensional in what you're doing and to bring all parts of you. I wish I had done that from the beginning, and not pigeonholed myself because it's just a hard energy to get out of. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Well, it sounds like that is a wrap then. I trust everyone got exactly what they needed tonight. And I'm excited to share with everybody about the Ascension Lab. So if you are wanting to dive in, please join us. It is so much fun. You get live coaching every Sunday. There's just so much in there. And again, the connection and the community part is super, super important to me. So would love to see you all in there. But either way, I'm sending you guys all so much love and just really rooting for all of you on this journey. Like, go out there, express yourselves, and just keep doing it. Let it be a playground. Let it be messy. Make shitty content until you make good content. Like, just let it all be in that process because it's just a playground that we get to have. But thank you all. Thank you all so, so much. I love you all, and I hope you all have an amazing week. Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.